This is Lesa Browning with Music Mix Daily, and we are here today at Dodson Elementary School with Tony Memmel. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thanks for having me today.
It was wonderful. We've had such a fun day today. Tony was here visiting the kids and just doing some amazing things, and we'll link up to some of that later. But I really wanted to just talk to you and just learn more about you. Can you just tell us the story again about how you got started in music?
So music's always been a really big part of my life, and it was when I was a teenager. I was about 13 years old, in 8th grade. I had a friend from school named Max, who was just an exceptional guitar player. He could hear music off the radio, and before the song was done playing, he could play it on his guitar, and it really inspired me. It really got my own wheels turning in my mind about how I could do that same thing, and I really wanted to try and make that a part of my life. So I made guitar a really big goal for myself, and started saving up to buy my first instrument, and started writing my first songs, and it really just kept snowballing from there.
Were you writing songs before you had that fancy guitar?
Before I had the fancy guitar, I would write songs with Max, actually. Even before that, I've always been writing silly songs, even since I was a kid, just about animals or things like that. And then as I started to get interested in, especially rock and roll music, as a teenager, I was going to be the lead singer in our band, and Max was going to be the lead guitarist. And so I would sing ideas to him and write the lyrics, and he'd record a guitar part. I'd take it home and start to work on it, and that's how we started our first songwriting adventure, really.
Now, are you guys still friends?
I haven't talked to him in a while. We're not friends,
right.
But I just we live in different states now and things. But yeah, he played in my band at different times up until I was maybe about 8 years ago.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. See, that's a good story. And your lovely wife, and young baby
yes.
here today, which has been super fun. You two have known each other for a long time and sang. You still sing together, but you met where? In choir, did I hear?
That's right. I met my wife Leslie on my first day of college. I sat next to her. We had both auditioned and had made it into the top choir at the university that we attended, and she was already in the room, and I walked in and was looking for a place to sit as a freshman, and my first day in college, and sat, and she said I could sit by her if I wanted to, and we became friends, and started singing together in coffee shops and open mics and things like that, and then now we're doing it full time all together on the road and making a life of it. And you live here in Nashville, in Nashville? I do. We've been here 5 years. We have lived right downtown the last 4 years, and then actually just bought our first house just out of the city last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So I know you do a lot of music. Obviously, you've been doing music on your own for a long time, but I want to talk a little bit about the Lucky Finn Foundation.
Yeah.
And how you got involved in that. It's an amazing organization.
Of course. So I was born without a left hand, and when I started getting out on the road and sharing music with people, I just started by making routes. I was living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I would just kind of go out on the road and hit the same places. And I started, as I kept sharing my music and sharing my story and doing those tour routes, I started to meet families, especially kids who had hand and limb differences similar to myself. And it was around 2010, 2011 that I got contacted by a group called the Lucky Finn Project, which is an organization that supports kids and adults alike who have hand and limb differences. And they asked if through my touring work I would be an ambassador for the group. So I started visiting schools, hospitals, churches, all different types of places, and meeting with these families, having meals together, just spending time getting to know each other and demonstrating how I build my special guitar cast, which helps me play. And that early humble beginning of traveling and visiting those one family at a time has now really turned into, I still do that some, but I also have traveled all over the world now, meeting with families and connecting them to the Lucky Finn Project, and it's been one of the greatest joys of my life.
That's wonderful. Explain to us what Lucky Finn means.
Of course. Lucky Finn is a reference to the Disney Pixar film Finding Nemo. The lead character in the film is a fish named Nemo, who was born with a small fin, which his father calls his Lucky Finn, affectionately. And I won't spoil it for you, but it's a good movie, and Nemo does all kinds of incredible things. He's become sort of a hero for kids like me with lucky fins.
Yeah, very lucky, actually. It's pretty amazing. I got to watch you today. There's a child here at Dodson, Willem, and super, super amazing little first grader, 6 years old. And he was well, first of all, he was thrilled to be having lunch with you and hanging out. But the two of you really connected nicely. I was listening to the conversations. You did a great job with him, and with all the kids, too. But it was especially nice to see that. I can see that this is definitely your passion, your love, to do what you're doing, the music and the children and the education and everything. Yeah. You kind of wear a lot of hats.
I do, and I like all those hats.
Yeah, I can tell.
So it was really special for me today to have the opportunity to meet Willem and his family, to have a meal together, just getting to know each other and having a good conversation over lunch. And he showed me how he plays piano with his Lucky Finn. He told me he wants to learn how to play the drums. So it's just kind of neat to see, as a first grader, his wheels turning and he loves art, and he just seems like he's inspired and ready just to try new things and just to approach each of those situations with courage and hope and optimism. And it was a really special day. Yeah,
it was great, and it was great to watch that, but it was also great to watch the kids. I only was here for first and third grade. I think you covered all the classes today. But to watch those two groups, and they were just so open and receptive to everything that you were telling them. And it wasn't about the limb difference. It's not about that at all. But you said something I was thinking that was, let's see, what did I put down? Maybe I didn't. But just basically, it's not, everybody has something. Mm-hmm. There's, whatever you've got going on, it's not the same thing that I've got going on, but something. Yeah. And so much encouragement. I mean, really lovely optimism.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It was great.
Thank you. I heard somebody say a version of what I said today. There's something like, we're not all going through the same thing, but we're all going through something. And so when I talk about...
That's what I was looking for.
I think I know what you're talking about. So when I think of Lucky Finn, obviously I'm talking a little bit about having, a hand difference, and that's what the movie references and things. But I think really ultimately it's about whatever your difference happens to be, internal, external, is that sometimes what the world might perceive as a weakness is actually the source of a great strength.
Right, and you also talked to them about how long it took you to do certain things and not to give up, and it was a really great message. I really thought it was lovely.
Thank you.
And you're going to show us, I think, how you get prepared to play.
Yes.
And then you're going to play for us.
Yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Right. So I brought my guitar pick. This is just a small piece of plastic that touches and strums the strings. And what I was telling the students today is that I was born with one hand, and when I started to think about playing the guitar, I also realized that I was born with a perfect guitar pick spot on the end of my arm that actually fit the guitar pick perfectly. I built the cast, which helps it to stay in place and help me to make the sounds and pluck one string at a time, which was important to me because I wanted to sound like what I heard on the radio and what my favorite bands sounded like and what I was inspired to play like. I didn't want to be a good guitarist with one hand. I wanted to be a great guitarist, period.
Exactly.
And so that was what my inspiration was. I'm just going to set these pieces of tape here as I rip them. But through the years, I tried all different types of methods and casts and worked through many different variations of this, and it took me almost 8 years of practice and trial and error to come up with what I do today. So this is a really tough, extra strong tape called Gorilla Tape, and to give you an idea, this is basically designing a cast that would work on the inside part of my arm across from my elbow. So this is my elbow here, and training those muscles to be able to play one note at a time. And if you think about it, that's more of a macro movement part of the body. It's not like your fingers. So I was really working to try and become precise and to be as good a player as I could be. And then I do one final piece that goes here over my elbow. And I want to play. No, thank you very much. I want to play a song for you that I wrote. This is called Rock and Roll Was New, and it's a summary, I guess, of some of the story we've been talking about how when guitar and rock and roll especially came into my life as a teenager, how my imagination opened up. I started thinking about maybe I could write songs and maybe I could somehow share them with people and maybe be in a band and things like that. So that's what this song's about. A cheap amp and some distortion set my whole life into motion. Made me lie awake and wonder what this big world had to offer. Started to dream when I was just 13. I saved my money in a jar so I could buy my first guitar. I plugged it in and felt a spark. Rock and roll was new and it hit me hard. I asked my friends to join a band. We booked some gigs and earned some fans. And at night I'd lie and wonder, could this music take me somewhere? Started to dream when I was just 13. Saved my money in a jar so I could buy my first guitar. I plugged it in and felt a spark. Rock and roll was new and hit me hard. Oh, I've been working on this dream since I was just 13. The strings, the stage, the sweat, the art, the songs, the microphones, the heart. I got my favorite lifelong scar when rock and roll was new and hit me hard.
That was awesome.
Thank you very much.
That's a beautiful song, beautiful story.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here today. It was a pleasure getting to know you and your lovely wife and brand new baby.
It has been a joy. Thank you so much for hosting me and for all the work you put in.
Oh, wow. Our pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much.